Welcome back, everyone, to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast.
It's great to be here.
Today, we're going deep on gold IRAs, a
Hmm.
topic that's been getting a lot of attention, especially with retirees.
Especially now.
Looking for ways to, kind of shore up their savings and make sure that their future is a little bit more certain.
Right. And who doesn't want that?
Absolutely.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, it's no
Okay.
secret that, things are a little bit uncertain right now in the world.
Yeah, a little bit.
When it comes to, the global economy.
Your statement of the year.
Yeah, and specifically inflation, which is on everyone's
It's
mind.
of mine for sure.
And the stock market has been all over the place.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah,
It's a tough time to be a retiree.
it is.
They've put in the work their whole lives, and now they're facing these headwinds that make it feel like their savings are just shrinking.
Exactly, and that's why we're talking about gold IRAs today. Could you give us a quick overview of what a gold IRA is and how it works?
Sure. So in the simplest terms, a gold IRA is a self-directed individual retirement account that lets you invest in physical gold.
Oh, wow. So like actual gold?
Yeah, bullion as part of your retirement savings.
Interesting.
So it has the same tax advantages as a traditional IRA,
Okay.
but it gives you an alternative to, those typical stocks, bonds, and mutual funds.
Okay, so before we get too far into this, I want to remind our listeners that we've got an awesome resource to help you navigate this whole gold IRA world.
We do.
If you head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive,
Right.
there's a free checklist there
Yes, there is.
that'll help you choose the right company.
It will walk you through the entire process,
Yeah.
step by step.
Awesome. So back to the deep dive.
Let's dive.
One of the big reasons people are interested in gold IRAs is that gold is often seen as kind of a safe haven,
Yeah.
especially when the economy is a little shaky.
Right.
So why is that?
Well, gold has a very long history. It's been a store of value for centuries.
Wow.
I mean, for thousands of years.
Wow.
Unlike paper money, which can just be printed,
Right.
gold has inherent value. It's a tangible asset with a limited supply.
Right.
And that scarcity, that's part of what makes it so appealing.
So it's almost like you're holding a piece of history
Yeah.
in your hand.
Exactly.
Something that has stood the test of time.
It has.
Yeah. And I think what's really interesting is that gold seems to do well when other assets are struggling.
Yeah, that's right.
Like when inflation is really high,
Mm-hmm.
the value of the dollar goes down.
Yeah.
But gold tends to hold steady or even go up.
Yeah. It's a classic hedge against inflation.
Okay, so let's connect this to the bigger picture here.
Sure.
Why would someone choose a gold IRA over a traditional IRA?
Okay, so it comes down to diversification and risk management.
Okay.
A good retirement portfolio is not about putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
It's about spreading your risk
Mhm.
across different asset classes.
Makes sense.
So a gold IRA lets you go beyond stocks and bonds
Right.
and add something tangible that's known for stability.
It's like a safety net
Yeah.
for your retirement savings.
Yeah, especially in uncertain times.
Right.
Now, I do want to say that gold isn't a way to get rich quick. It's
Okay.
not about, quick profits.
Right.
It's about long-term stability and wealth preservation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if someone's listening to this thinking, hey, a gold IRA might be right for me,
Yeah.
what's the first step?
The most important thing is to do your research
Okay.
and choose a reputable provider.
Makes sense.
And that's where our free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive can be a big help.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah, it lays out the key factors you should be thinking about,
Okay.
like the provider's reputation, their experience, their fees,
Right.
storage options, customer service,
Gotcha.
all that good stuff.
We'll dig more into choosing the right provider a little later.
We will.
But for now, let's talk about some of the benefits of gold IRAs.
Okay.
We've talked about inflation, diversification,
Right.
but there's more to the story.
There is. One benefit that people often overlook is the potential tax advantages.
Oh, interesting.
Just like with traditional IRAs,
Uh-huh.
gold IRAs offer tax-deferred growth,
Okay.
meaning you don't pay taxes on your gains until you withdraw the money in retirement.
Right.
And this can make a big difference in your overall retirement income.
So it's like a tax break while your savings are growing.
Exactly.
A win-win.
I like it. And there's another benefit
Oh, there's more.
that's often overlooked, but just as important, the psychological comfort of owning tangible gold.
That's interesting. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, why does tangible ownership matter, especially
Yeah.
when we're talking retirement savings? Well, when you think about it, when you invest in stocks or bonds, you're basically buying pieces of paper that represent ownership or debt.
Right.
These assets are intangible. You can't hold them in your hand. Gold, on the other hand, is something you can see and touch.
Yeah, I see.
It has real value that goes beyond what's happening in the market.
Right.
And for a lot of retirees, that tangible connection to their savings brings them a lot of security.
Yeah, peace of mind.
Exactly, which is so valuable these days.
Especially now.
With all the uncertainty in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
You've worked hard for your savings.
Right.
It's natural to want to feel like you have some control.
Absolutely.
That they're safe.
Yeah, makes total sense. That's a really good point.
Yeah, it's a powerful factor, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when you're planning for retirement.
Right.
You've worked so hard to save that money.
You deserve to feel good about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I know we talked a bit about IRS regulations earlier, but I think it's worth kind of diving a little deeper into the specifics.
Okay.
What are the rules that people need to know about when it comes to gold IRAs?
Right. So the IRS, they have specific rules about what kind of gold can be held in a gold IRA.
Oh, really? Yeah, not just any gold will do.
Interesting.
It has to meet certain standards for purity.
Okay.
They call it investment-grade gold.
Gotcha.
So, for example, gold bars have to be at least 99.5% pure.
Oh.
And coins have to meet specific requirements.
So it's not like I can just buy a gold coin on eBay and throw it in my IRA.
No.
Okay.
You have to work with a provider who understands the rules.
Makes sense.
And can guide you toward investments that are actually eligible.
Okay.
Otherwise, you could end up with tax penalties or other problems.
Gotcha. So let's talk about storage then.
Okay.
Where is this gold actually kept?
Right. That's a big question.
Yeah, and how do investors know that it's safe?
Well, the IRS requires that the gold be held by a trustee in an approved depository.
What's a depository?
There's special facilities designed to store precious metals.
Okay.
They have really strong security measures.
Right.
Multiple layers of protection, surveillance systems, insurance.
So it's not like I have a safe in my basement.
No.
In fact, that would be against the IRS rules.
Oh, wow.
You have to use an approved depository.
Gotcha.
It keeps your investments safe.
Okay.
And keeps you in line with the law.
Makes sense. Now, I've heard some people say that gold doesn't generate any income.
Yeah.
You know, unlike stocks or bonds that might pay dividends.
Right.
How would you respond to that?
It's true. Gold doesn't pay dividends or interest.
Right.
But that's not why people invest in gold.
Okay.
Remember, gold is a store of value.
Right.
It's a hedge against inflation. It's about diversifying your portfolio.
Okay.
Its role is to protect wealth and manage risk.
Okay. So it's more about stability
than
making money.
It's like an insurance policy for your retirement portfolio.
I like that.
It might not have those flashy returns when the market's doing well.
Right.
But it can help protect your savings when other assets are struggling.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well,
so we've covered a lot of the basics here, but I think it's also important to talk about the potential downsides.
Right.
Or risks that investors should be aware of.
Sure.
No investment is perfect.
No.
So what are some things to think about before jumping into a gold IRA?
Well, one thing is that gold prices can go up and down.
Oh, really?
While it's held its value over the long term, it can be a bit volatile in the short term.
So it's not a sure thing?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You know, gold prices are affected by all kinds of things.
Right.
Global economics, supply and demand, what investors are feeling.
Gotcha.
It's important to think long term.
Okay.
And to understand that gold is not immune to market ups and downs.
Right. What about other downsides?
Another thing to keep in mind is fees.
Okay.
Gold IRAs usually have higher fees than traditional IRAs.
Well, why is that?
It's because of the costs of storing and insuring the physical gold.
Oh, I see. So that's something to consider when comparing different providers.
Absolutely. Transparency is really important here. A reputable provider will tell you all about their fees up front.
Right.
So you can make an informed choice.
Makes sense.
And of course, our free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Can help you with that.
Okay.
Comparing fees and other key factors.
Gotcha. So let's talk about the process of actually setting up a gold IRA.
Okay.
What are the steps and how long does it usually take?
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Especially if you're working with a provider who knows what they're doing.
Right.
It usually starts with choosing a custodian.
Okay.
Someone who specializes in self-directed IRAs.
So I need a pro in my corner.
Yeah, exactly. The custodian will take care of all the paperwork.
Right.
And make sure everything's done according to the IRS rules.
Gotcha.
Once you've chosen a custodian, you'll fund your gold IRA.
Okay. How do I do that?
You can transfer money from an existing IRA or 401k.
Okay.
Or make direct contributions.
And those rollovers are they usually tax-free?
Yes, as long as you follow the IRS guidelines. You can roll over funds without any penalties.
Gotcha.
Then you work with your custodian to pick out the gold products you want to buy.
Oh, so I get to choose.
Yes.
Yes.
Within the IRS guidelines, of course.
Okay.
You can choose gold bars,
Okay.
gold coins,
Gotcha.
or a combination of both.
Interesting.
Your custodian will help you understand your options
Right.
and make choices that fit your investment goals.
Makes sense. And then that gold is stored in that safe depository we talked about.
Right.
Okay.
The whole process usually takes a few weeks.
Okay.
Your custodian will keep you updated
Oh.
and answer any questions.
Sounds pretty easy.
It should be.
We talked about scams earlier.
Yeah,
But I think it's worth saying again how important it is to be careful
absolutely.
when choosing a provider.
You have to be vigilant.
What are some red flags that investors should watch out for?
Well, one big red flag is high-pressure sales tactics.
Oh, okay.
If a provider is pushing you to make a decision quickly
Right.
or making promises that sound too good to be true.
Like I'm going to double my money in a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be very cautious.
Okay.
Reputable providers, they'll take the time to understand your goals
Right.
and explain the risks and rewards
Right.
without resorting to hype or scare tactics.
Right, because this is a long-term thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not about getting rich quick.
What else should people watch out for?
Another red flag is a lack of transparency about fees.
Right.
As we said, gold IRAs often have higher fees than traditional IRAs.
Oh,
A good provider will be upfront about all the costs.
makes sense.
So if they're being vague about their fees,
Yeah.
that's a big warning sign.
So transparency is key.
Absolutely.
What about their experience?
Right. You want a company with a solid track record.
Uh-huh.
Look for providers who have been around for a while,
Okay.
who have good reviews from customers,
Right.
and who are members of reputable industry groups.
So do your homework.
Yes, don't just jump at the first offer that comes along.
Right.
Take your time. Research different providers.
Mm-hmm.
Compare what they offer.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you're comfortable with the company you choose.
Right. This is my retirement we're talking about.
Exactly. You're trusting them with a big part of your savings.
Okay.
So it's worth it to find the right partner.
That's a great point. Now, before we get into choosing the right provider,
Yeah.
I want to share some real stories about how gold IRAs have helped retirees,
Oh, that's a great idea.
navigate tough economic times.
I love those stories.
Yeah, I think these stories really make the benefits come alive.
Yeah, stories connect with us.
Yeah.
They help us see how these ideas actually play out
For sure.
in real life.
I've got a couple of case studies that I think our listeners will find interesting.
Perfect. Let's hear them.
Okay, so the first one is about a guy named John.
Okay.
He's 68 years old, retired,
Uh-huh.
and he was really worried about inflation,
I bet.
eating away at his savings.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way.
He worked his whole life. He didn't want to see his nest egg disappear.
Of course not.
So what did he do?
Well, he decided to diversify his portfolio
Okay.
by moving some of his assets into a gold IRA.
Sorry.
He worked with a reputable provider, followed all the IRS rules,
Oh.
and chose a mix of gold bars and coins that matched his risk tolerance.
Gotcha. So what happened?
Well, as inflation kept rising,
Right.
the value of his gold went up.
Right.
And that actually offset some of the losses he was seeing in his stock investments.
Wow. So it acted as a buffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
His gold IRA protected his overall portfolio
Okay.
from the full impact of inflation.
That's awesome.
He was able to sleep better at night,
That's what you want.
knowing that part of his savings was in something tangible
Right.
that has historically held its value in uncertain times.
So that's a perfect example
Yeah,
of how gold can help with inflation.
it is.
Do you have any other stories?
I do. Let's talk about Linda.
Okay.
She's 72, retired, and always been a little cautious with her money.
She'd seen the stock market go up and down over the years,
Right.
and she wanted some of her wealth in something more stable.
So peace of mind.
Yeah, security.
Gotcha.
She decided to open a gold IRA
Okay.
and transfer some of her savings into physical gold.
Okay.
She liked the idea of owning something real
Yeah.
that had value no matter what was happening on Wall Street.
Right. What was the outcome for her?
Well, when the stock market took a dip,
Uh-huh.
Linda's gold IRA stayed pretty steady.
Okay.
It cushioned her overall portfolio
Gotcha.
and helped her maintain her purchasing power.
Awesome.
She felt a sense of relief,
Yeah.
knowing she had taken steps to protect her savings
Right.
and wasn't completely at the mercy of the unpredictable stock market.
Yeah, that's a great example of
Hmm.
how gold IRAs can benefit retirees in different ways,
Exactly.
whether it's inflation protection, diversification,
Right.
or just that peace of mind.
It's all important.
Yeah.
A well-structured gold IRA can be a powerful tool for retirement planning, for sure.
It offers stability protection and that tangible connection to your savings.
Absolutely. It's so great to hear those stories.
Yeah, they're really inspiring.
It's reassuring to see how gold IRAs have actually made a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, they really highlight the power of gold,
Yeah.
as a safe haven asset
Absolutely.
and how it can be such a unique part of retirement planning.
So speaking of navigating the financial world,
Yeah.
let's circle back to choosing the right gold IRA provider.
Okay.
We've talked about some red flags,
Mm-hmm.
but what about the positive side?
Right.
What should investors be looking for?
Yeah, what makes a provider stand out?
Exactly.
Well, one of the most important things is a commitment to transparency
Okay.
and education.
Gotcha.
You want a provider who's upfront about all their fees
Right.
and costs
Ah.
and who takes the time to really teach you about gold IRAs.
Right.
So you understand both the risks and the rewards.
So it's not just about selling you something.
No, it's about empowering you with knowledge.
Right. Making sure you feel good about your decision.
Exactly.
Okay. What else?
Another green flag is personalized service.
Okay.
Every investor is different.
Right. Everyone has different goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you want a provider who gets to know you
Uh-huh.
and tailors their recommendations to your specific needs.
It's about a relationship,
Yeah,
not just a transaction.
exactly.
Wow.
You want someone who's invested in your success.
Right. Someone who's going to be there for the long haul.
Exactly.
Now, I know we've mentioned our free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive a bunch of times,
It is a great resource.
but it's worth mentioning again.
Yeah.
Because it really covers everything we've talked about today.
It does.
And it can help investors make smart decisions about choosing a provider.
Especially if you're new to gold IRAs.
Right.
It breaks it all down into simple steps.
Yeah.
And gives you a framework for making good choices.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to talk about the bigger economic picture. We're living in some pretty crazy times.
You can say that again.
Inflation is high, interest rates are going up.
Yeah.
Geopolitical tensions are adding to the volatility.
It's a lot.
It is. What are your thoughts on how all of this might affect gold as an investment?
Right. Especially for retirement planning.
Exactly.
Well, nobody can predict the future,
Of course.
but we can look at history for some clues
Right.
and think about how gold has performed during other tough times.
So historically, how has gold done during times of uncertainty?
Well, gold has a pretty solid track record as a safe haven.
Okay.
When things get rough economically, like during recessions or wars or when inflation is really high,
Right.
investors tend to turn to gold.
Gotcha.
They see it as a way to protect their wealth
Makes sense.
and weather the storm.
It's like an anchor
Yeah.
when everything else is going crazy.
Exactly. When the value of money is going down or the stock market is all over the place,
Yeah.
gold tends to hold steady. It gives investors a sense of security.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I don't want to say that gold's a guaranteed win.
Right. No investment is foolproof.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But based on its history,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like gold could be a really valuable tool for protecting retirement savings,
I would agree with that.
especially with all the uncertainty we're facing.
Yeah, it's definitely worth considering.
And again, if you want to learn more about gold IRAs,
Yes.
our free checklist is at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
It's a great place to start.
Okay, so I think we've covered a lot today.
We have.
We've explored gold IRAs from all angles.
We looked at the benefits, the potential downsides, how to choose a provider.
Exactly.
Hopefully our listeners feel more informed about their options.
Yeah, and empowered to make smart choices for their retirement.
That's the goal.
Absolutely. Well, it's been great having you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And for all of our listeners out there, if you're looking for more guidance on gold IRAs,
Don't forget,
head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive for that free checklist.
it's packed with tips and resources.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep on diving